Hi there, I'm Malia. Thanks for joining me again. Today we're going to have fun with our brows. Brows are really interesting to do. They're a challenge. They can be super fun, they can be super frustrating, but hopefully I'm going to solve some of your issues, answer common questions, and give you some new ideas. So first, let's talk about what kinds of products you can use for your brows. All right, I'm going to show you a couple things from my line. First of all, the most common is called a brow powder liner pencil. And what it looks like is this. So you have a spoolie, this spiral brush is called a spoolie brush, and you have a pencil on one end. The cool thing about this one is it's powder based, not wax. So when you apply it, it goes on very natural and soft and it looks like hair. And then you can use the spoolie brush to soften it and blend it in. So these are probably the most common, are the powder liners. Then you have brush on brow. So that comes in a little compact with its own little brush, and it's a powder product. That applies just straight on with the little brush, or you can use an external brush as well. We'll get into that in a little bit. So that's another powder product. You've probably seen brow balms, all right? And this is a balm. It's a wax base. It's waterproof, which is a benefit and not. Because if you miss and you don't clean it up in time, it's waterproof. But it will last until you wash your face. So it's great for weddings. It's great for all day. And there's 3 colors in the brow balm. So the reason I'm showing you all these things is because the type of brow you have and the type of hair in your brow and your occasion, what you're doing, determines what you're going to do with your brow. You don't always have the same brow every day, all night. It's different, all right? And this is where the fun comes in. Let me see, what did I miss? So we have the pencil, the powder, the balm. Oh yeah, there's a mousse. This is also waterproof. And it has a little doe foot brush inside, and you apply that like a paste, and then you blend it, and that's another waterproof one, and I have 2 colors in that one. So you can, I'll put links below, but check it out, and before we get started into the shaping of the brow, just know that I'm here for you for your questions. There's a lot of choices. I'm going to try to give you all the options, but a lot of people just want to talk to me and ask me questions, and I love that. So you could send me a picture of your eyebrow and say help, and I can help you with what you want to do. All right, now the next thing we're going to cover is what the brow should look like. I drew up this little goofy drawing. So this is your nose and your eye. You have 3 points, 1 right up from the nose, 1 through the iris of your eye, and 1 right on the tail end of your eye. All right, those are your 3 points to measure. This is crucial, so make sure you make notes of this. And I'm going to show you how that works. So you just take a straight object, all right, put it on the side of your nose and go straight up through the front of your eye, the very inside. That's where your brow should start. Then take that same object, go right through the iris. Let me get myself looking straight ahead. There we go. That's where your arch should be. And then nose, so nose through iris, nose through corner of eye. That's where your tail should end. All right, so you have 1, 2, 3 approximately. It goes in an arch. The next thing to remember about brows is they need to be more straight. The problem I see with a lot of women is they make them round. And it's a little clowny, and it's a kind of a surprise look. So try to minimize the curves and think of it as just 2 straight lines. So let me show you this. So if you have this, you have 1 line that goes straight up here, and then the next line goes down. So it's 2 lines, 1 up, 1 down, right, at an angle. And try your best not to curve. So that's one of the best tips I can give you is no curves, straight lines. All right, let's see. Let's look at some different kinds of brows. I'm going to show you 4. So the first one is natural. So this is just like your brows are, just filling them in. I'm going to get a little closer so you can see the type of brow that you do is determined by what you have and what you're going to do. All right, so before you do your brows, you should have your foundation on and your concealer and your powder, right? So that's your base, and then your brow goes next, or whatever you're going to paint. So I have just my foundation on. I haven't put anything else on yet, and we're going to work on these brows. So you can see my brow. We call this brow sparse, all right? It's not a lot of hair. It's not super thick. The hair is not dense. There's a few empty patches. And if we look at this side, part of it's missing, right? So as you grow up in life, your thyroid changes, and a lot of times one of the symptoms is the outer portion of your eyebrows start to thin, the second half. It's really annoying. So obviously it's more noticeable on this side and less noticeable on this side, which is also annoying, but it's all right, we deal with it. All right, so we're going to look at a natural brow, and the reason I'm telling you about the hair is because when your hair is more thick and dense, you can get away with just using a powder and filling in with powder because your hair grabs it and everything's fine. But if you've got this skin, like I do, like I've got a patch here and a patch here and here, powder won't grab on the skin as well. It'll look different than the hair. It'll look like a different color. So you have to use a pencil and then a powder, or just a pencil, right? So pencil over skin, and then powder over hair is how we go, all right? So let me find what I'm gonna do here. So we're gonna start with one of the powder liner pencils, and these are really long. You get a lot here, and this is my pencil. You can see it's little. So this one is probably 3 years old, so it takes a while to use it up. All pencils, no matter what they are, take a tissue, gently place it in there and rub back and forth, because that roughs up the pencil, gets off any deposits of oil or foundation that may have attached to the outside, keeps your pencil working. Sometimes you get this, right? Sometimes when you're using a pencil, it'll stop working and you're thinking, wow, what's going on here? So you can sharpen it if it needs it, or you can just rub it in a tissue. This is eye pencils, lip pencils, brow pencils, any pencils, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just do a very natural fill, and I have to turn toward the mirror because I'm looking at myself in the camera. Let me go this way. And so we're just going to do a natural little hair stroke in the brow. So notice I went up to the point, the arch, and then down. I did not go in a circle, all right? So here we go, like so. And my hair is red, so I have to use two colors. So I have to, this is dark taupe, that's kind of my base color. And then I'm going to add a powder on top, and that is my brush on brow in Auburn. Because redheads, almost 95% of the time, if you're a redhead, you have to use two colors. You have to do the brown and then put your Auburn on top. Because if you use the Auburn by itself, a lot of times it looks orange. It needs the brown underneath. If you have blonde hair or a different shade of brown hair, you can get away with one color. So we're just going to lightly brush that over. And there you see, I'll put this back more or less. So it's a reasonably natural, quick brow. All right, so then you're just out the door. All right, second brow is if you're working, if it's business, you're a little more professional, you need to look kind of more fine-tuned, right? So what we're gonna do here is take that pencil and we're just going to fine-tune the shape a little bit. So what's gonna happen is, I'm gonna show you on this card. On the front of your brow, we're gonna draw more of a straight line. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this right here. So we're going to go up to the arch and then down to the tail. Okay? Now, brows change over time. The brow right now is kind of a 50s looking brow. It's super cool, like Elizabeth Taylor used to use. Their brows are strong right now, so don't do a wussy brow. Do something that's substantial. The other thing about brows right now is the front edge is a little more straight, so I almost made a corner. It's not so round here. So your first strokes are going to be up, adding this. All right, so watch. Up, like so, and then over, and then down. All right, so you kind of get the idea. So now I'll do it on myself. So here we go. We're going to go up, and we're going to go over. Okay, and you see I'm getting my corner, right? See how it's starting to look a little more beefy? Okay. And then straight down. No curves. So just go right up to that high point called the arch. And then I'm going to show you, I made a little, see that little part that's too curvy? That's not what we want right now. That's a curve, right? So I'm going to show you how to fix it. Take a tissue, wrap it around your fingernail, and just go along that edge and straighten out your line. There, better. And it just comes off on the tissue. All right, so here we have our work brow or business brow, right? And then we use the spoolie and we blend it, okay? And I see a little bit right here that I'm gonna clean up. There we go. Okay, so see, that's, now you could see if you notice this. Do you see how this whole side of my face looks higher than this side? I'm gonna just work on this side because I really want you to see, put this back, that, boy, my bangs need a trim. Hopefully you saw my bang trim video. That's on there too. It's time for me again. So you can see they don't look crazy. It just gives your eye more shape. It shows your cheekbone more. It shows your eye more. They're a beautiful frame for your eyes. So don't be afraid to make your brows stand out. It's okay. All right, so now I'm going to show you, when you finish a brow, let's say, okay, I'm going to work, everything's good, here we go. And this brow's just a little much for me. Just like, oh, okay, I think I overdid it. Take your translucent powder. I use number 17, translucent powder, and your powder brush, and gently brush a layer of powder over your brow. Now look, see how I just took it down? It just puts a little veil of powder over it, blends it, makes it look more natural, and you'd probably be super happy with that. All right, let's go to the next brow, evening. All right, so for evening, you're gonna go darker and thicker. All right, so we're gonna take that same brow pencil and we're going to go over it again. Let's see here. We'll get this in my little square. Go up to my arch. And I'm just going to do an extra layer because the night lights fade most of your makeup. So your makeup needs not necessarily to be thicker, but it needs to be darker with a more rich color. So I'm just going to use the same dark taupe, but I'm going to apply it with a heavier hand. And then the brow will be a little more substantial, okay? Now that will stand out evening if you're going out for the night, if you're going for dinner, when the sun is down and you're having artificial light or subtle light, this brow will look completely normal, okay? Now, the last one is if you're gonna be speaking on stage or performing or in front of some hot lights or something where you're in front of a lot of people and it's your stage or your performance brow. All right, so this one goes darker thicker and longer, because you are 10 to 15 feet from your audience, okay? So, same idea, taking our brow. This time, I'm gonna follow that square, but I'm going up a little higher. I'm gonna make that whole thing thicker. I'm bringing the arch higher. I'm gonna take the tail right here. I'm gonna extend it a 1/4 inch. So I'm gonna make my brow physically longer, all right? And then I'm gonna take this inside, so here's your outside corner, inside corner, extend it so the whole front of my brow is thicker, all right? This is a bit tricky, so if I screw it up, I'll show you how to fix that mistake as well. So we take the inside corner and we go over. Oh, come on, don't screw it up, Malia. There we go. All right, I think I got it. And then I'm feeding it into the rest of the brow. So we have a wider front edge. Oh, I like that. Check it out. All right, so you can see this brow, this corner got higher. The inside corner moved over so it connects to the brow here. The arch went higher and the tail went longer. So that's your stage brow. And you think, wow, that is a super brow. Yes, it is. And you still have the option, although I say just go for it, just embrace it. But if you're super scared, just brush that with your translucent powder. It will settle it down a little bit, okay? And you can see if you have bangs, it doesn't look that crazy. But even if your hair is back, trust me, on stage, it's gonna be fine, all right? So 4 brows. We have natural, we have business, we have evening, and we have stage. And each phase is making your brow thicker, a little bit longer, a little bit darker, all right? And you just build on it. So your brows are not set. You get to change them. You get to move and adjust them and get the look that you really, really want. All right, so any questions, you just let me know. I am here for you, and I hope you're going to have fun with this. I hope it was helpful, and I'll look forward to seeing you for the next one.